Radio. We are live. What's up? What's up? What's up? It is the LitStream. I'm Crunk Chocolate. I'm here with my show bros, Time Bomb, Sharpie Charlie. How you doing? How you feeling? How's it going?
You know, it's been a very long week, and I'm very tired.
We're almost there.
But you know what? There was a little bit of, Thursday happiness and some UWCL play. Of course, that also had to come with some sadness too. So it's like, God damn. So, yeah, I'm just trying to find the small victories where I can.
I know, right, man? Oh my
We're
goodness.
chasing joy out here, man. We're chasing joy. I'm happy. My kids had another great game, another great night of basketball. I traveled up. We work in Southwest DC. I traveled up to Northwest DC and saw them dominate the opponents. So it was a beautiful night. What's up, Tarek? How you feeling tonight, my guy?
Well, I'm posting in the wrong chat and all kind of stuff. So I'm already a little flustered. Already a little flustered, but it's all good. I see you with the Wizards. Are they the Wizards? Yeah,
Wizards, Caps. We keep it DC local over here.
For some reason, I was like, are they still the Wizards? What'd they change it to? I don't know. But yeah, I'm good, man. Glad to be here.
Yes.
Hey.
Business casual. Hold on. Business casual Tarek is fire. I see the sweater with the button down.
That just tells you I was at work too late.
Oh man, we have an amazing show for you. Well, Shady Gang, stand up. Amy Damali, Amy D. We got her in the house. Almost doxed her, my bad. Naldi, Ronald, and then John Ben. So two people knew of Naldi. We follow each other on Twitter. Found him on Blue Sky. That was real nice. First time on for a lot of, I believe, all of our guests. So that's actually yeah. Let's go.
Hey, Crunk, you need to actually make like a Rolodex because I feel like your official Rolodex would be crazy right now. Like old school, just wind it up. Like who can I call today? Who can I call? Like people get it, and they get the phone that you have to like spin it to call. Like we remember that, right? Like
not a rotary phone.
The rotary phone with the Rolodex. Oh my! What a combo! What a duo!
Y'all are old. Ooh. Rotary phones. What is that?
Trying to educate the youth out here. Trying to educate the youth. Look it up. Look it up.
I love it. We amazing show for you guys. Hey George, how's it going? Good to see you. I feel like let's just bring the first guest on. I feel like there's plenty to talk about with our big fan of them. Very support. Came to Chicago to spend time with us for the first SOB meetup.
Dope.
Like, just love forever because of that. Shady Gang. Please welcome Amy MCFC.
Yay! We got a full house for LitStream. I'm so excited.
Yes, we're all here. We're out here. How are you?
Healthy, unlike City. I just want to say we're all here, unlike our teams we love. We all show up.
Rough.
Oh,
I'm good, Crunk, except you gave me like 7 minutes to shoot over topics, so it might get a little chaotic. And I got my skull full of red wine ready to go. So
hey, you did great. You
full of red wine. I love that.
Yeah.
It's actually a bubbly red, so it's even more like white girl winter than it needs to be. But here we are. Again, short notice. Crunk was like, I am so sorry.
I haven't seen that hashtag before. I like the white girl winner. White girl winner is fire.
White girl winner. She's just dubbed something new. Oh my god.
Got to get it to go viral. That's all.
The ladies are on the good side of it. The men are on the bad side of it. And we'll see where we end up in May.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, we could start with the positive that is City women and just their sheer dominance in the Champions League
5 for 5, baby.
Like it's great. The youths, like speaking of baby, the youths, they got to start. Lily Murphy got her first team start, and it's crazy that they've kind of been able to do that with a few of the young players that they're getting their first starts in the Champions League. That's insane.
It's crazy that like just the trajectory of the City Ladies team not even being in it. Was it last year? I know we missed out on it. So now to be 5 of 5 with one more game to go, already winning the group. I mean, if we can lift this baddie at the end of it all, I'm going to be absolutely blown away because like I saw the women play in Manchester or actually in London at Wembley for the FA Cup final. And this was 2019. I was supposed to be in town in Manchester for the infamous Vinnie Company goal, but they moved the game. So I had to find something else city to do. And so Kate and I went to Wembley for the FA Cup final against West Ham, where they won. The women won 4-0. But it's just insane. Like I would say 3/4 of the stadium was blocked off, like had the sheets over it, like no seating. And it was just general admission. You sat next to West Ham fans, whatever. And now the women's across all of England are selling out the men's stadiums in capacity. And so that was 5 years ago. So just the overall growth of the women's game that I've seen. And Kate and I are probably going to slip in the Manchester Derby for the women when we head over to Manchester and Paris to watch the men against PSG.
That's dope. So when do you leave?
We will leave. I'm like, where's my calendar? Right before MLK Day. So like the 13th or 14th of January. And we're going to catch the women's game on the 19th in Manchester. And then the men are at Ipswich, but whatever. And then PSG is the 22nd. And then we'll go to Chelsea on the 25th. So we're doing a little quick tour to Europe to catch it all. But can't wait to see like what that game looks like for the Manchester Derby with the women, just to see like it's incredible how far they've come. And I'm so proud of our little Henry getting her first goal today, starting, and they played incredible. Crunk, I was actually like pulled my calculator out, and between the two teams, they were almost exactly at 1,000 passes, but we had 800 of them and they had 20 of them, which is, or 200 of them, which is just insane. So very proud of them today.
Yeah, and shout out to Polton for just all that running that they had to do.
Yeah, they ran their asses off.
Running like crazy. And so I know we were chatting offline just about our girl Alex, and I'm just hoping that it's not probably what we think it is. But
it looked like a clash of the knees. It looked pretty simple, and then all of a sudden she's on the ground and she's immediately like, yo, get over here. And I was like, no.
When she pulled the Rodri hands to the eyes, I was like, mi Dios, no, like we can't. So I'm hoping that we get some good news because we definitely need it. And she's just the rock in the back that secures us all. So got our rock in the back. We got our slippery rock Yui in the middle. We got our big rock up front, Bunny. And so I think they're still going to crush it.
Yeah.
So I'd be hopeful. Like, do y'all want I'm gonna be hopeful. I hope everything works out, guys. I really hope. I don't feel it's gonna happen, but I'll have some hope. It's just this is like one of those years.
It's gonna happen like Champions League or in the WSL.
I don't feel like Greenwood is gonna be good because sadly, like when women go down, it's just bad. Like Lauren Hemp, she was there and then she wasn't, and then she was in a brace, and then it's like, okay, she's done. Like Viv was scoring goals and running, and then all of a sudden, we'll see you in 2025. Like it's just one of those years, Tom, and I just don't understand it.
I mean, having listened to Gareth's press conference before this match, it like you really get the sense that like the team is just trying to get to the winter break because they feel like after the winter break, Viv will be healthy, Laya will be fully fit, they'll Hemp will be back. So the thought is like, yeah, let's just get to the finish line if we can. I really thought today's victory was really a professional win. Like
Yeah.
you score the same goal twice, and like you win at home and take care of business. So you're like still a chance to win the group. So I don't hate that. Like, yes, there are 3 more matches on the schedule. One of them you don't feel great about, but it doesn't like kill the rest of the season, like, and what you can potentially do.
Yeah.
And Kermit got our goal. And shout out to Kate. I asked GPT to write a caption for Kirsten, and this is what it spit out. Scored my first UCL goal at the Joy. Guess you could say I'm enjoying the moment. Big wins, bigger dreams. St. Polton, more like St. Ponton.
Owned it. Owned it.
Owned.
It's
Oh,
old
that's
school
so
owned.
good.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I like gold digger.
Wow. That is very rare. ChatGPT is too good because that would not
It's
surprise me.
funny
Like,
because having my kid grow up through playing youth soccer. We used to do 3-on-3 holiday tournaments around Christmas time, and so they would get their T-shirts made up with. And Gold Digger, I'm pretty sure I have a T-shirt with hashtag Gold Digger was her team name or something like that. So, yeah, it's interesting the things you come up with when you're trying to look for a team name for a group of girls. It's interesting.
Hilarious.
Amy,
Yeah,
I gotta ask you
ladies.
something.
Yeah, what's up, Charlie?
So, for those that don't know, like I met Amy, Kate, the homie Billy, a couple years ago back at MCFC Hollywood. Like some of the best people in the world. And your passion for Manchester City inspired me to become more passionate. Like if you ever seen their shirt collection, top tier.
Massive.
Like it's just like the shirt collection, the travels, the continents they visited. Like, how do you stay so supportive and like pour so much into the club year after year? You know, titles or no titles. Now there are a lot of titles on the men's side, we know, but the women, for example, right? Like it's been a few years. Like, how do you stay so supportive?
I stay so supportive because I just like love the team. So if we even go all the way back to just like being a child growing up, like I played soccer. Saying soccer like makes me sick. Playing football. I'm one of those Americans. And so and it's like, grew up loving the sport, but I was like a swimmer and water polo player, so like slowly transferred into that. So I think it's funny that like, in 2009, 2010, when I was like picking a team, I didn't think I would ever have to like remember my origin story of like, how did you pick this team? Because there was no like American history in terms of like selecting a team. So I just became passionate for Manchester City through the players that I would follow from like the World Cup and UCL was about the only thing we would get on TV. And so like I have truly remember waking up in the morning in LA before I had a DVR because I couldn't afford one, and it'd be 4:30 and I'd watch City get like spanked by, pick any team really, and it would be like 3-0 and I would be like, oh, I can't believe I woke up for this, but I just like had to keep watching this team. And then we started looking for like, why watch alone when you can watch with other people? So we just found the Manchester City supporter group, and just the people that we watch with week in and week out we're like a big family now. And so like just seeing each other and hanging out week in and week out is what like really keeps it alive, because like these people have very similar stories to us. Whenever you ask like, how did you become a City fan? How do you like, everybody's stories are like similar enough. And so like we actually joke about it. Like someone's like, oh, what's it like at Hollywood MCFC? And Charlie, you can attest to this, but like we spend more time like talking to each other and like bantering each other and bantering our own team than we really spend like watching it. And so like that is the fun part. Even when we were like getting crushed by Crystal Palace, last weekend was it? The group that we were with, it was a little bit small, but we were just having so much fun, just like laughing at the shenanigans that was on the TV. And like that makes it so much easier. And then if I look back at my whole sports fandom, I'm from Detroit. So it's been a minute since we've seen a championship. And so growing up a Lions fan, we were an 0-16 team. So like shout out to never been done before, absolute tremendous horribleness. And I just remember like kind of learning young that it's like just sport. You can turn it off and you can like still go on with your weekend. I can just like hear the Lions were so bad, you guys. Like this recent form is like actually kind of shocking. And it actually like is very aligned with like how Manchester City is like kind of coming up from the ashes of being an okay mid-table, or in the Lions case, a low table team. You just took every win not for granted. And I think like that's just maybe the Red Wings were probably our most successful team, but like hockey is hockey and it's only kind of big in like certain parts of the country and isn't as like bantery or as maybe as big as fandom as like NFL or baseball or basketball is. And so like just growing up with these teams that are so not great has just, humbled me to a point where it's like there's life beyond sports, there's life beyond the win. And I know it's, we're still coming off of a 4-peat and, having 4 in a row. So like that will never get taken away from us. If we get to 5, like that would just be incredible and shocking for this year. But those memories, like we're never going to lose. And so like, I still look back at like women's FA Cup final and I'm like, that was such a great memory, such a great day. Like if you've ever been to Wembley, they have this like great kind of like courtyard where there's like bars and sort of, they almost look like stacked like box cars that have like businesses in them and bars and stuff like that. So there's a whole like center that you can be in and like just the vibe around it. And then I just love women's sports in general. So like whether it's Manchester City or the new WNHL, I forget the name of it, the ladies NHL, and now like softball's coming on TV and I'm like, well, who the heck is my softball team? Like who's my I live in LA, so there's quite a bit of women's sports. So, we go to the basketball games, we go to we're Angel City season ticket holders. And so I always try, the whole saying of like, everybody watches women's sports and people were like, well, where can I watch it was always the question. And now people are realizing that if you put it on TV, like people actually watch it. So through all of that, just growing up in kind of like a city of losing teams, plus just being so passionate about football in general, and then craving all things women's sports just we're at the perfect culmination of just like everything I love about this team and just where things are going. And I love how much energy Manchester City puts into the women's team and how equal they treat them. Knowing that, we hear things from like the United side of stuff that they're like,
well,
who?
come on and say it.
Yeah, like the disrespect I would be the first person to walk into that office with like my transfer papers, because to be treated that way, I just couldn't imagine. And using the reason of being a woman as the reason that you're not having any type of priority or even any type semblance of support. I just am grateful that Manchester City does not treat our women that same way too. So it's just a culmination of all of those things, Charlie, that keeps me excited and energized, because it can only go up from here for the women. Men, maybe not.
Damn, that was such a good
we
answer.
might be hitting rock bottom, so I don't know.
You know what? Again, 0-16, it's kind of fun down there. You can really only go up from there. So, but it's like when it comes to the men, we know exactly what the problems are. There's like nothing more that we can say. Like I pulled up the UCL final from 2023 and like Ederson and Holland is like at 75% fit, but everybody else on that starting lineup is either gone, out for the season, or like old, and like age has just caught up to them. So it's like in 18 months, that team is not even a semblance of what that treble winning team was. And so like if you just can't understand that, then like, people are saying Pep out. Well, who the heck are you going to bring in to solve an injury crisis? Like we're going to want Pep to be there when the fire burns and the smoke clears and we have a fit team. we're gonna want Pep to be there. So like, you know, if you can't see what the exact problems are, and yes, we can complain all we want, but our current sort of, you know, what we would call perfection is just cracked because there's nothing we can do about some of the issues that we have now. We sold Julian, didn't buy to fill his spot. You know, a couple of things have happened that you can put a little pressure on in terms of questioning why we didn't do certain things, but we do have that fun 115 kind of looming over us. So I can understand conservatism when it comes to if that even played a role in our current situation. And we'll know at the end of the season where we'll play next season. So yeah, it's just I think if you just can't see what's actually going on, then, you know, and giving grace to the players. And I think I tweeted or blue skeeted the other day that like the players go out there and they know what the problems are too, and they still go out there and play. Like imagine that burden and that frustration that we feel, and then actually having to be the player on the pitch. Like it's so much. I think a lot of our injuries are psychological as well as physical. And I give them a lot of credit for knowing their shortcomings and still having to go out and try to be the best or the version of what we want them to be when they're struggling to even get there for all the reasons.
Yeah. And I should say it is up to 130. It really is 130 now. I don't know where that 15 came from, but the 15 extra charges popped out of nowhere.
What's 15 more? What's 15 more?
Right.
That's exciting. 130, baby.
130, nice.
You know, but 115 does, or maybe it's just we've said it and heard it so many times.
long.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny. I like forgot about it at one point, and then I think someone brought like Stefan's tweets over to Blue Sky, and I was like, "Oh, about that!" I completely forgot about that nonsense. But you know, I just like it's funny. So like the Dodgers win the World Series. We're now in the off season. We're in like trade deadlines, free agency, and you know the Dodgers are ruining football or ruining baseball. And it's really funny to see the parallels between how the baseball fandoms and the communities talk about the Dodgers, who is Todd Bowie of Chelsea fame, and their long and you know their long and crazy contracts. Like Cole Palmer, I think is there until like 3024. I think he's got a 1,000-year contract.
Deals.
And so
And you dropped the Bonilla reference. Let's go.
Right.
Death Row
And so
Records
like
out here.
exactly. So like it's really interesting to see the baseball community talk in the exact same tone and way that the football community talks about Man City and also like Chelsea and like big spending. And it's just like it's really interesting to see the juxtaposition from that and like what actually comes into play. Right now the Dodgers there's 2 free agents that we really like, fans that we really, really want to keep, but the Dodgers are being like cautious about it because they want to build a super team and they want to spend a lot of money in order to build this dynasty. But just because there's these great players kind of sitting on the table doesn't mean that they're going to like buy them. And then, but all the fans want it. So like all the Dodger fans are like, sign Teoscar, sign Kike Hernandez. And then everybody else comes in and comments like, Dodgers are ruining baseball. If you get those 2 plus that other Japanese pitcher that Shohei's talking to all day long, and you guys have, you know, another $1 billion of deferment, you know, how can anybody else in any market compete? And what the Dodger people say is like, if your team was doing this, you wouldn't be saying this. If your team was doing this, you would be super excited that they were doing this. It's not the Dodgers' fault that they found loopholes in signing the best players and building out these massive contracts. And who's to say the Dodgers are ruining it? Because the Mets just signed Juan Soto for like $765. So it's like everybody can do it. It's just being creative, but there's pressures. If you guys have not seen the picture of Juan Soto signing his contract, he literally looks like he's at a Chuck E. Cheese. But the best comment was, and so everyone's, you know, roasting the Mets for even posting it. And somebody goes, Yeah, I'll sign $765 million contract anywhere you want me to sign it. If you want me to do it in a dirt puddle, then I will sign that contract right there. So it's just really interesting to see because people say the same thing about City. Just go out and spend, go out and spend, go. It would be nice to have $1 billion to go buy 6 and 7 players in January, but it's like that's not actually going to happen. There's so many other variables that come into play when like actually signing players and like spending money. And with the like looming 115 or 130, that's a different pressure that other clubs don't feel, but our back office was probably or front office was probably feeling in terms of, how do we fill this team when at the start of the season we weren't as broken as we currently are. But it's just interesting to see I'm just grateful that both my teams are the spenders and not the ones begging for their owners to spend. And it's nice to have championships on both sides of the pond.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
We're going to get Angel City there soon. So I want to hear Tom's thoughts on Angel City and their cleaning house. And if you have any thoughts on it, do you think it's good, bad, anything, like hear any rumblings on your side of the women's soccer?
I have heard some rumblings about some possibly interesting things happening.
Pray tell.
Let's just say old faces in new places is a distinct possibility. Particularly like when it comes to coaches. Just put it as that. But I think you would be pleased by it.
Oh.
Yeah. So Amy, I also have a very direct
Tom the ITK. Let's go.
I have a very direct link into Angel City's things, and things are seeming pretty good. Good things will happen. I cannot say I will not dispel anything.
Charlie.
We'll talk. We'll talk offline.
Crunk is like, we got to put all this breaking news in the Patreon, make people pay for it.
So we do, baby. SOB.
Workshopping.
I'm like, I buy you school supplies. Send me the info.
I'll put it this way.
I got you.
Yeah. I'll put it this way. Never underestimate the power of Mickey Mouse money.
Oh, I don't. I will say, so for the NWSL final, we went to a bar in West Hollywood, and it was fun. Like Kate and I were kind of the only ones there watching it, but as we were watching it, more and more people kept coming to our table to like watch. And so we were like, okay, this team's that, Marta this, and like all these players over here. And like eventually we had like a couple more TVs changed so that the game could get spread out a little bit more. But I'm obsessed that you were there, Tom, because it looked like such an incredible experience. And I just hope Angel City can be there one day, because like we got to compete. It's like killing me that
you're too big to fail. It's going to happen. It's just
I know. Like that's what I'm hoping. See, again, it's like everybody's kind of connected here. It's like Angel City is the most, valuable NWSL team in the country. And yet we have our ambitions seem to be falling short in terms of what we're putting onto the pitch. And we are very youth and baby heavy, which I am, I'm obsessed with Giselle Thompson. I think she is like the future. Love Alyssa, absolutely love Alyssa. But there are times where I'm like, oof, like Giselle's my favorite Thompson. Like I just absolutely think she's a baller for being a teenager.
The younger one's better. The youngest one's better. The youngest one's the best of all.
There's a third one?
Oh. Wow.
This is crazy. So we need her as well.
Wait, what?
Just get her on that Philadelphia Union like pre-team contract. Like
there's really a third Thompson?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is insane. And then we got our girl. Oh my God, now I'm blanking on her. Kate, tell me. Oh, Kennedy Fuller.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And it's like our youth is so exciting. And we have so many great youth players. And so I can see where Angel City was going last year with some of their draft picks and some of the, the kids that they brought in. But and Kristen obviously has been out. June Endo out with an ACL as well. Like we've also been injury ravaged. But now I'm looking at our like who's actually on our roster, and I'm like, I don't think we can field 11. But that I know that's going to happen. But I see the future. I would love a solid senior player with strong leadership. I don't know who that is. Are we poaching somebody from Europe to bring over here with a winning champions mentality? How do we fill this out to start building that winning culture? I think that is who wouldn't want to come to Los Angeles? Who wouldn't want to play in BMO Stadium? Who wouldn't want to wear our beautiful pink and black kits? Who wouldn't want to live, in gorgeous, sunny, beachy Los Angeles? Take all of that and put a championship mentality on top of it, because it makes such a big difference when it goes from just being fun and hosting fun nights. And we basically sell out BMO every single week, and it's a vibe, it's a party. It's definitely that the supporter section's going crazy, but how do we start not necessarily demanding more, but expecting more from Angel City? So I'm excited by this clean house. We got the youth, we got some of those talented youth, and I just think we got to fill sort of that mid-level manager role. And our works very similar in sort of our issues with the city men team and Angel City in terms of what we could need and what we could use. And so I'm excited for next season, but I'm hoping that we just bring in some championship mentality and live up to Los Angeles as a championship city. Dodgers, Lakers, Kings, we got all of those championships. And at LAFC, now Galaxy, even though they're all the way down in Carson. But we would love to have that, to lift that cup here and be a part of the history that is this championship city. That's, we are the bright lights that people should be wanting to play for. So I'm excited, but want more.
Let's go. Okay. Well,
hold on, Crunk, real quick.
Yeah.
So you are a twin, correct?
I am.
I have a set of twin girls, who are sophomores in high school. So coming up on college, they have to make a decision whether they should stay and go to school together or go separate ways. You just said that you're from Detroit, now living in LA. Did you both go to LA together? Did one go and then the other come later? Have you always kind of stayed close to each other? Did you split apart? How did that work?
I mean, we're lucky because we actually like each other's company and, are each other's best friends. We have been apart. So I did a semester at a different college, and then went to Michigan State. So we did do a semester apart and lived separately for our first year of college. But we tend to do everything together anyways. So we just started living together sophomore year and even in Los Angeles. And so how do we even make it out to Los Angeles? We both work in advertising. We both did our majors in advertising. Told our parents separately, and they were like, "Oh my God, did they really just pick the same major?" We're both going to the same school, the same major, both play water polo, all of that. I know twins that I know a lot of guy-girl twins who are close, but I also know twins who are not close at all. And, sometimes they will tell me that they wish that they were closer to their brother or sister, whichever way it goes. I will just say this, so we lived together. We moved about 2 weeks apart because the same agency actually hired us at the same time. They wanted to bring us out together. So kind of just did that. But
wait, y'all work at the same place? Y'all work together too?
We did when we first moved out here.
Okay.
But Tom, we worked in completely separate departments, different clients. We barely saw each other for 5 years. We always said we were ships in the night, and then the pandemic happened, and now I see her all day, every day. And as long as maybe they don't have a pandemic, Tarek, where they have to shut forever.
Yeah. And no one else.
Yeah. So I will just say this is one. If one of them wants to do it alone, the other one should give them the grace to do it alone. If they want to do it together, then they will I think they'll find happiness in either. Now, if they are picking schools and there's no difference in terms of like majors. So we went to Michigan State, who has one of the best advertising programs in the country. So it kind of just made sense to go to that school because it was the best one for what we wanted to do. But if somebody wants to be a nurse and somebody wants to be a teacher and the schools specialize in different areas, like that should help drive them. Now, I don't know, how their relationship is, but I would just say that like being a twin is a very unique and special relationship. And so we love to do these like everything together because we want the other person to experience what we're experience at the same time. And so it really just comes down to if they're okay being apart, like that's equally as that's like a equally as valuable experience to get that. My trajectory and Kate's trajectory, we've just been so parallel and just are each other's best friends. So we just get to enjoy everything together because and live our passions together. And maybe if I speak it into existence, but we might finally actually kick off our podcast. Which would be maybe city focused, but might spin off into what we talk about because the games will end and we will crack each other up with like the nicknames we gave players, the silly stuff that happened, and it's just like it's like our own language when we talk about the Manchester City team, and we think that other people would enjoy the way that we talk about them because it's not as tactical. And I'm like, what's a 4-4-2? Like what? What's an inverted right back? Do we even have a midfield? Like who knows? So we want to kind of maybe have a podcast space where we can kind of just almost have a conversation with each other and like do all this silly stuff and talk about how girls talk about men's football teams and also our ladies team. We talk about them respectfully, the men disrespectfully. And so like, we're like, this is hilarious. Like we truly crack each other up just talking about the team. So, if you guys put a little pressure on us, we might actually do that. Because we just, love talking about City. And Tarek, this is not answering your question because what I've just circled back to is that like, we'll just do the next things together. But I do say that like they will respect each other's decisions regardless of what they do. And like kind of the other one will have to, when we were apart, when I was at school, a different school for just another semester, we still talked like almost every day. And like, I didn't feel lonely. Like, I don't think either one of us felt lonely without each other just because of like technology. But I lived perfectly fine by myself for 4 months or whatever it may be, and like had my own friends at school, and I joined a sorority and like all this other stuff. And then I was like, all right, guys, gotta go. I gotta go to Michigan State and be with all my water polo friends and play there. So it just was a little bit different of a experience.
That's dope. I'm glad that it worked out. I'm sure like they've talked about what they want to do, and so either way, I'm sure they'll be happy. But I appreciate
I think
insight.
as long as like they're friends with each other, like that's to me the most important thing. I always say like, I know what it's like to be married. I know what unconditional love is. I know what giving, not necessarily doing what the other Tarek, you're married, you know what I'm talking about, but it's like those intangibles, like I already know what all that stuff is in terms of like what it takes to like forgive without ever being right.
Yeah.
Mic drop on the
well, with that, please,
on the twin philosophy.
or if you want to let people know where they can find and follow you.
Yeah, so I'm on Blue Sky, or what I can't stop calling Sky Blue. So whichever one you're on, I'm there. I'm Amy MCFC over there. I basically banter with these guys all day long, and you might get me live tweeting some City stuff. But I'm basically all sports. I try to keep it light and fun, but yeah, you can find me there. That's about all where I'm at.
Can't wait for the pod next year. Thank you, Amy.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm just going to read off some of my topics. I talked about how I became a fan. We talked about the latest game. I ranted about the men's team. Bruno G ? I wouldn't say no. So I'm going to cover that. We talked about the NWSL. I gave a little shade to the Galaxy. We talked Angel City. I talked about my Detroit Lions, who got a big game this weekend against the Buffalo Bills. So go Lions.
Please win.
Yeah, please win. Please win.
Not for you,
And
Tom.
then
Not for you. We're done with you.
No. I mean, it can also be for Amy. I'm okay with that.
I
So
gotta
a win
shout
is a
out
win. It don't matter how it happens.
I gotta shout out my boy Louie, who's listening. And also just want to give a shout out to the best moment of 2024 is that video of Mike Tyson turning around and showing his ass to the entire world. Made my 2024 a little bit brighter, a little bit better. So just got to give him credit where credit's due. And Mike Tyson's it, baby.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for coming on. We truly appreciate you.
You guys are the best. It's like talking to my brother's best friends all day long. So thank you for inviting me on. I can't believe this is my first time. Finally made it work. So
Not the last time, though.
not the
We'll run it back.
last.
Not at all.
Not the
Definitely
last.
not.
Well, I love you boys.
Well, you too.
Have a great rest of a LitStream. I'm going to go off and watch the 49ers and Rams play somewhere.
Yay. See
Thank
you.
Appreciate
you.
it. Thanks for
City.
jumping on.
Oh man. Okay. What a great start. Now let's bring on Ronald. You good? Hey, there he is. Ronald.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. I wanted to. I love this little shout out to Haiti. I'm trying to think. Have we had anybody on who has talked about Haiti? No, we've definitely talked
No.
about. Yeah.
Haitian? All right. Yeah, I'll take it.
So, I assume you're Haitian. Like, what?
Yeah, I would hope so, right?
Or maybe just something about their
Hey,
national.
you just appreciate the culture. It's all good.
Right.
But tell us a little bit about what do you love about being Haitian, and also what's the best Haitian food? Like the food person in me, the big back in me. I'm just like, tell me about food.
Listen, at the risk of starting diaspora wars, I think we got the best food. That's why I love being Haitian. And I always choose violence when it comes to the diaspora wars. So without any type of hesitation, hey, Nigerians, Ghanaians, Jamaicans.
I know that's what I was about to say. I was like, oh God, is he about to go after rice?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we got it. We don't need the help of tomato. We got our rice. That's what's going on there. But no, our food is really good. I'd say the best dish is probably like rice, like a black rice. We call it dijonjon. It's like a mushroom rice, and the color is black. That's the like one we give to like everybody that comes like to the country, or like we want to show off our food, and then it's like with fried plantain and then like fried pork. That's like the traditional dish. But my favorite dish is like bouillon. It's like it's a soup, like a broth with like dumpling, carrots, beef, all that jazz. So that's what's going on in the food. And then Asian, born and raised in Boston. I will say, I know people will say it's racist. I think it's changing. Like as a spokesperson, I'll get ahead of it. But yeah, Haitian American. But now I'm actually in Maryland.
Okay. Love it. Okay. Well, I know we talked a little bit about the Haitian national team before, but I wanted to give them a little shout out. It's like you have a nice little medley of topics that we can dive into. So that's like we talk about City. Like honestly, like I'm over at the club, because I'm just gonna have to like talk about them tomorrow, So like you've given a nice list of other teams, and honestly, I like starting here with Manchester United.
Big weekend, right? Yeah, I saw two quotes today, and I think they encompass everything I feel about United right now. One was the first one was Amorim after today's match, and he was just like, yeah, he's like, I'm gonna just be frustrated it's gonna be like this for a long time, and I'm like, yeah. And then the other one I saw was like, adulthood is like match day being every day. And that's how I feel. Like I feel like it's always a struggle with United right now, but we move. We got to stay loyal.
That's crazy though. Even bro, I just love how and that's why Ten Hag was always just like, no, it's good, it's fine, it's great. He had to lie. He had to lie because it's just like it's not.
But well, no. Hold on. He didn't have to lie. He chose to lie. He gaslit an entire fan base. Like that's the problem, right? Like lying in people's faces is terrible. I tell people all the time, don't lie in my face. Like at work, things are bad. Just tell me it's bad or whatever it is. Like be honest. Ten Hag was like a fraud, and like those little 2 trophies don't make up for ineptitude along the rest of the calendar. Like I'm happy that Amarim is like honest. Like this is gonna take a while. This shit is not good. This shit's not sweet. And that's what you need if you want to have like long-term success. But Ten Hag was like, no, we're good. We got a trophy. Look, our trophy. Come on, bro. We were hungover. My boy. Like, what you want from us? Like, we were partying.
Listen, I agree that Amarim
and everybody.
Oh,
I was just gonna say Pep tried to be like, hey, we were drunk. And they're like, are you serious about that? And he was just like, no, it was a joke. I mean, but we were drinking. He said it was a joke, but then he immediately followed it. But he was just like, but we were out though. So yeah, it is what it is. Y'all won. I'm happy for you though, because you got out from under Ten Hag. Because I liked you guys. I like that you were losing. I like that United were struggling, but it's just he annoyed me.
The honesty and earnest with which you said that was just
no, like it's good to watch someone struggle, but like I would also like if maybe like even all the lying and stuff that got old and he's doing it again. I don't know. I needed some change up, and I guess that's why I'm saying get out of here. Like I like you guys struggling, and hey, if Amarim is like already miserable, like it's been 2 weeks and man's already struggling. It's just like what's going on? What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think the lying was, he was coping, and I kind of now looking back on it, I kind of appreciate it because I knew we weren't gonna win some of these games, but hey, I was like, at least we think we can. Like, but I also think now it's like you look at Amarim and it's just like you see all of that mess. So I am glad we're out of it, and we're like it looks like there's some type of direction, even though every other minute we can find new news. But yeah, I think the line was coping, but I kind of appreciate it because when you roll up to like some of these teams and you're looking Anthony starting, you got like your left back is always injured, you kind of like, what am I watching this for? So the lie was the only way they're gonna get me to watch low key. So that's what that was. So I'm just glad it's over.
So what you're saying is that there was a point in which you chose to believe the lie.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay. All right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I confirmed what I heard. Okay.
Yeah, I had to believe in the lie. I mean, listen, I have two of my best friends, they're also City fans, right? And so, you have that chat that always goes off during the derby or during the games that are specifically bad, aka the Liverpool game and whatnot. And I'm the type of person, I just turn off my phone when I see it's going bad. Like, I'm just like, and I'm gonna be like, I'll come back on Monday acting like nothing happened, right? But it just got to the point, even their jokes, it didn't matter. Like, I was just like, you thought we were gonna win? Like, I didn't think so. So it's like, I think now what it is like, it's good to have that like hope again. So I'm like, I feel like the lies were the only way I could watch the games, because before that, it was just like, it was like I was immune to it. Like, what's gonna happen? We're gonna score a goal maybe first, and then 2 goals after is gonna come, and like we're gonna lose. So I think after a little bit, it just gets to the point where it's like, is he alive? Like, they're poking me with a stick, like trying to get a reaction. So I'm just glad now we're back in a place where there's like, it looks like we can have hope. It looks like we could do something. So yeah, the feeling's back, so to speak.
I'm not a mental health expert, right? I'm just a teacher, but that seems like a very toxic relationship. Like, to be like, you know what? I know this isn't what it's supposed to be, but I'm gonna come back. I'm here. Like I don't want to say abuse because again, I'm not an expert, but it sounds abusive in a very emotionally and mentally form. Like, and here's the thing, Ronald. Like, I just met you tonight, and I want better for you, bro. Like, I don't want you to be in this abusive situation because as a black man, like as a part of diaspora, like I want joy for you, bro. Like, are they bringing you joy? Like, where do you find the joy? Not the lies, not the gaslit, not like all that. Like, where do you find your joy in that red club? Please tell me. Is it Ahmad Diallo? Does he bring you joy? Is it Kobe? Like,
I was gonna say it's probably like YouTube videos of like highlights of past days, but yeah, I mean, I think isn't that 2024? Where's the hope? Like, I'm looking at it like I'm honestly.
They got dark so fast. Oh my god, he took it there.
I'm like, okay, 2024. Like, Cat Williams started off the year, told me what was gonna happen. So I feel like honestly, United's kind of following the script. So hopefully, whatever Shannon Sharp chooses on January to be his first interview, that guy says something with hope, and United picks up that script. That's what I'm banking on. But
he said, whoever is booking Shannon Sharp's show, please embody the spirit of Jesse Jackson, because we gotta hope.
We gotta hope.
That's hilarious. I see that you were wrong about Rafinha. I mean, he's balling out. He is balling out, and I'll give you a little grace before you go in on yourself. But like, it's like he started really bad at Barca. Like, not great. He did not cover himself in glory. That's my fun phrase that I've been using this week. So I just pointing at City. You're not covering yourself in glory. No. Anyway. Yeah, so like this, I don't think anybody saw this. I think it's a sign of how bad Xavi had that club. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Rafinha?
Yeah, listen. First off, I owe him an apology. I wasn't familiar with the game. Like, I saw you at Leeds, and then you came to Barcelona, and the things I said. I won't repeat, but it goes along. I was like, this fake Brazilian or this wish Brazilian needs to get out of
You just repeated them. That's so crazy. To say I'm not going to repeat them and then actually repeat them is a wild thing to
confess.
do. Like,
confession is good for the soul.
Listen, man.
I won't say them. You fake Brazilian. Whoa.
It's about to be a lot of mean Portuguese comments here in a minute.
Bruh, I mean, come on. It was like it's kind of like I felt like how Benzema felt about Vinicius. It's like brothers playing against me, like, or playing against us, like the whole time when he came, and then he did the whole like. When his like signing was like a memento to Dino, like they had him juggling, and I'm just like, the expectation was high. I'm like, we finally got that Brazilian, we got a left flank Brazilian or right flank Brazilian, whatever you may have it, and he's ready to wear the 10 or stuff like that. And then I saw this guy, and it was like 2 touches out of bounds. Like I'm like, what's going on? No step overs. Like you just doing cardio out there. And so I was beside myself. But to see what he's doing this year, like being clinical, essentially like putting that armband on, that captain armband, and this dude has become just a whole different person. And it's just like, it's really cool to see. And I think what is also very interesting is that I think Rafinha is like what we should expect of the modern day Brazilian, in the sense that like, I don't know if we're going to get the Dino vibes of like samba or like, back passes and the stuff that I grew up on, at least, like, and I'm assuming y'all, like, in terms of falling in love with the game. And like now to see him like in this place where it's like, okay, it's like he's more efficient. He's going to track back, but he's going to provide you like these moments that are just like either magical or brilliant or just clinical. And I feel like, okay, like I can get with this Brazilian, and like it's cool to see. So like, just props to Rafinha. I was wrong about him. He's not the wish, Ronaldinho or whatever may have it, or any of the other terrible things I said in my group chat about him.
Oh man, I love that. I love that though. Oh, that's hilarious because I see your favorite player ever is Ronaldinho, and we just had a nice conversation with Aaron West, who, he was just like, there's only hold on. Right? Yes. He's kind of going, wait, he's going CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo. Sorry, I'm mixing him up. Ronaldinho. Yes. Haha. Wow, my brain. This is what happens when you record like 5
The
different
man's
streams.
been on the show every day this week, y'all. Give him grace.
Like, I'm literally like, wait,
Been
what
out here.
conversation did I have with which person? It is awful. I'm going to keep it moving. Tell us why Ronaldinho is your favorite player.
Man, oh well, all right. So I guess I have to start. Is low key Ronaldinho was the reason I got into my college, or got into college. He was who I based my Common App essay about. So I wrote my whole essay about Ronaldinho, and as like I was someone that like I struggled with my weight growing up, and how he was like a motivator for me to like lose a lot of weight through high school, because I wanted to be like him and play on the teams and stuff like that. But just in general, for me, it's just like I remember I got into soccer through my uncle, and it was like 05, 06. And I think the first game I vividly like watched and like was sat down for was the 06 Champions League final against Barca and Arsenal, right? And actually, Ronaldo didn't even play that well, but just this like idea of always focusing on him, and then I kind of followed after, and just like what he was able to do, like the magic of it and everything. Like I just think for me that it's just like the purity of it, man. Like this dude like would see a pass and like instead of like chesting it down and trying to dribble or something, he like used his back to like pass it on to the oncoming player so they can continue their run. Or like the flip flap move he did and the free kicks. I just like it was a whole vibe and energy, and it's like that feeling he brought to every Barca game at that time is what I've been chasing forever. And it's like the greatest luck, which also I think helps me cope with United, was as a Barca fan, as my primary team, was that we went from Ronaldinho to Messi. So I kind of feel like I used up a lot of my luck in terms of what I got to see and who I got to support based on that alone. But yeah, I mean, just Dino, he like started my love for the game in the sense like he was the reason I was drawn to it, why like I got engaged with it, and then essentially helped me get into college. And so I've become a fan ever since, and just like soccer has just meant so much to me and brings me so much happiness. So there's always a fondness and connection with Dino. Like even when he plays like those charity games, like I'll be still trying to catch them in like, one soldier tear down the eye, just like, man, he still got it. Like they don't do it like this no more. Like that's my whole energy about him. So yeah.
So you mentioned how that the I will say like the creativity, right? Like Dino was that guy. You did not know what he was going to do, and that's why you watched. Do you feel like that's missing today? Like, is it because again, we understand the game so much more with sports science and all that stuff, like in analytics. Do you feel like that unexpected flavor is missing from the game today?
Yeah. Yes and no. Like I used to be like a hard like, yeah, it's definitely missing. It's not there. But I think it's just also changing your approach of like how games and like the game evolves, right? And so it's like there are players that are doing it in their own unique ways and they have their own like beauty and technique and creativity to it. So like players that come to mind is like Vinicius, that's maybe a little closer to the similarity of Dino, but then you have like Cole Palmer, or Pedri. And that's something where it's like I can see my own growth in terms of how I view the game. Because before I was like Pedri, like before I would have been like Pedri ain't doing nothing. It's like these short side passes, but it's like you start to see like, oh, like he's dictating tempo. And like people always say that, but I never understood it. I was just looking at it like, what you mean? He's like doing 2-yard passes and the ball's like in the same position. But it's like, oh, he evaded pressure from like this player, or he allowed time for this player to make a run. And so I think it's like, yes, in the sense that I don't know if like that 10 is set up right now in the current game in terms of like you're going to have a player who can not have any defensive responsibility and is just going to be purely set up like to wait around like the opposition's box or like on the wing and like get the ball and just look for passes and or to shoot or dribble himself, right? I don't know if that is in the game currently as much or is going to happen again, but I do think the creativity actually is still there. It's just a matter of like you have to look for it a little differently. It's not going to be maybe scissors and all that stuff, but there is still a lot of beauty in the game if you're watching closely.
Neymar was that
Yes.
guy.
Yeah.
You talked about Vinicius to a certain extent, but you see how they just get beat up. If you do any of that, everybody wants to beat you up nowadays. But there is that flair is something special. A player that can do those things. Sometimes you're like, okay, that's too much or whatever, but don't lose the ball or whatever. But just that flair, that love, just like that almost playground mentality, right? We just out here having fun, we balling. Nobody's thinking about, well, what happens if I miss this shot? Nah, man, we having fun out here. Go do what you do.
Right.
And that I think is special and to a certain extent somewhat missing. As a City fan where everything is about control.
Yeah.
I appreciate the way we play and whatever, but sometimes you just like, just want to see a little bit of that joy from those players.
Absolutely, yeah. And a lot of people also say like, "Oh, Pep killed the game" and stuff like that. But I low key, I feel like it's like, is it him or the players sometimes? Because I feel like what I would say is Pep gets, and I can't believe I'm like the worst United fan, like trying
Go
to
ahead,
make
defend him.
But this idea of like, I really buy the philosophy that like, I think it was Thierry Henry that was saying it about him, is like his whole job was just to get them to the box, right? But then it's on the individuals. And I think to a certain extent, that's always been what he's done at Barca, Bayern, or even City now, is just like, all these things are being said about like his team and the team right now, but y'all still get to the box. Like, it's like, what are the players able to do at that point? And I think like you see someone like Doku trying. I just think there's some other parts of his game that are, personally are a little off, that it doesn't always translate. But it's like, I don't think he's actually tried to kill it as much as like maybe make it more efficient. But I think just in general, the way social media is, these players don't have a lot of room for error, right? Like, as someone like United, Rashford is like the big, like, you mess up a couple of times in a row, or like, it becomes you're not taking those shots as well, or you dribble past someone, or you hold the ball too long. It's like you get killed for it these days. So I think that's more so to blame than it's like a Pep thing, like,
Yeah, I'm with you. I hate that one man is blamed for the entire game. Like, and I understand and I see his influence, but also it's just like you said, it's up to the individuals to do something. So it's like, if these teams and players aren't doing anything in this style, maybe everybody shouldn't be playing this style. I do miss the days where a manager would. Not everybody can understand Pep's style, and if it's too much for you, and like it is for most, like take what you do understand of it and make your own version of that. Like that's what Pep did from Cruyff and everything. He just was like, "Hey, I see what Cruyff is doing, but I think this little tweak might make things a little bit better." Arteta has done his own thing. Enzo Maresca, we see it; he's doing his own thing. Like everybody. You need to make it your own instead of being like, I'm playing Pep style, because you're not going to be able to win playing somebody else's style.
Right. Yeah. You know what's actually cool? While you were saying that, what came to mind was like Yamal. And, I feel like, it's all being set up that like eventually one day he's going to wear the 10, right? Like, the heir apparent to like the Messi legacy, etc. And I'm just thinking about it in terms of like even how Dino played, even how Messi played. Like, Yamal is like, I think we have that already, that dependency on him having to be on the field to win.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so different from the other two that came before him in the sense of how they influenced the team. Like, I feel like Yamal, like Messi's had such a long career that there's different iterations, right? But like, let's just talk about the 19, the early Messi, right? The winger. It was like he would hold the ball and try to dribble through as many people as possible, either lay it off or take shots. And Dino on the opposite end was more of like, I'm gonna hold it and I'm gonna try to beat my man one-on-one. If I can't do that, maybe I'll try to get others involved. Like Yamal is like really just like on his wing. Sure, he'll try, but he's just picking out passes, like and it's like it's really like he's like almost doing like Perlo-esque like energy just on the wing. Like I'm gonna just like get the ball over here, maybe sidestep one player, but I'm not gonna try to dribble at you or run into the box. I'm really just trying to look for that Trivela pass, and that's so cool to see, and just another point of like, the game will evolve, but like the creativity and like what we love about it is like it's there. You just got to look for it, like not in the same way or coming out the same exact way.
I love that. No, that's great. Fantastic answer, my guy.
That's really interesting. That like I love your answer, and like actually I think that I would say that like probably to me most plays like that is actually also Haitian in Melchi du Mornay.
Oh yeah. Oh my. Yo.
Like because she's like so ruthlessly efficient, and she will do like things that like on the pitch that you're like, damn, how the fuck did she just do that? Like you're not like I understand the like France's league is maybe not the best league in the world, and they're still professional athletes. Should not be able to do that against other professional athletes. That's some of the things that she does.
Yeah. If you like 2 years ago, she was like, I think it was the CONCACAF women's like tournament, and then like I just remember like watching her games, and she was a one woman show, right? Like, just like she can play the six, she can be up top, like wing, it doesn't matter. But she was like, I think that's where she kind of made her name, right? That tournament, and it was just because of like her ability to just be a true baller, like those players you play with, like. It don't matter. Like you put them on defense, they're still gonna show out. You put them up top, they're gonna score the goal. You put them in midfield, they're gonna control. Like that's her. Like and like that's soccer, man. Like those are the players those are the players I rate. So my friends always hate it because I'm just like sometimes I'm really hard. I'm like, oh, that play ain't doing nothing. Because like for me, I want those ballers, man. Like I want someone that's like I look at them, I was like, it don't matter if you put them left back or like up top, or like they're gonna find a way to be a part of it, right? And like Q&A is definitely one of those.
I love it. Well, before we get you out of here, how do you think the derby's gonna go this weekend?
All right. Listen, I think that juju you guys got going on right now is pretty bad. I'm not gonna hold you. Like even besides the United fandom point, I was like, when I saw last week happen, I was like, oh nah, like you on that United wave right now. Like you welcome, like you in the ghetto now. Like that's going on right now. So
No.
I'm not gonna hold you. The juju looks pretty bad, but. I feel like quality-wise, like, you guys still have, like, I would say a better team. So I would say the loyals in me is going to say United wins 2-1, but maybe practical, I think maybe City probably ends up winning like 1-0. But I we'll see, because I don't know. Like because I'll tell you what. Y'all stay off the internet. If that juju comes for you on Sunday,
my man said, "Stay off the internet."
Don't you put that juju on me, Ron?
It's not gonna be good.
Juju on me.
I'm not gonna hold y'all.
I'm
let me just.
I'm taking words from a bottom, a 10th to 12th, 13th place side. Until you get in the top 8, do not enter my conversation. You try hard, you underdog. How dare you come at the king? What they say? Come at the king, you best not miss. All I'm gonna say is you best not miss, Ronald. I'm gonna be on your head Sunday night. Don't you worry about it.
I'll be the one turning off the internet
then. Please plug yourself. Let people know where they can find you and the things that you do.
Yeah, you can find me at Naldy, NALDY 920 on Blue Sky, on Twitter. Yeah, or if I may plug my current work, my day job, in terms of like I work for the Black Alliance for Just Immigration. So if you're interested in those type of topics or that type of work too, I'm there. That's more of my official name. So that's Ronald Claude. But you look us up. I know a lot of stuff is happening in that space. In the next few days, months. So feel free to check us out and see what we're about in that front. And then on the soccer front, yeah, Twitter and Blue Sky. Find me there.
Yes, most definitely. All right, homie, you have a good rest of your evening. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Happy holidays. Hope to be back.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You will.
Same to you, bro.
Hey, time to get our last guest on. He's been back there patiently. I see him, sipping on something. So he might be nice and primed and ready to go. Shady gang. It's time to get Bundesliga. Shout out
Bundesliga.
Oh boy, yeah, I've been sipping on way too much tonight. That's for sure.
Let's go.
Frankfurt in the building. What up, Frankfurt?
Yeah, baby, Eintracht Frankfurt. Yeah, I was having a wonderful day today, watching my Italian team Fiorentina smack the shit out in the Conference League, and then all of a sudden Frankfurt comes on the field and decides to lay a shitter. So yeah, I've had to drink for a little bit now, and I don't know. It's been a day.
What are we drinking? It looks like something dark. I'm gonna guess a bourbon. Or are we going whiskey? What are we doing?
Angels.
All right. Well, okay. Hold on. All right. So first of all, I had the very last of my Oktoberfest. Then I had a little Remy 1738, and now I've got some
1738.
Yeah, I did have a little bit of that. Now I got some bare knuckle rye whiskey, which is 123 proof. So yeah, we getting lit for the LitStream,
There we go.
Bravo.
I'm telling you,
Bravo.
like the first when you took the first hit of what you're drinking now, I think because you were off camera, like I saw your face and you were like,
Yep.
like, oh, okay.
You saw that. I was
just
not
want to put
expecting it quite.
Fetty Wap, everybody. Like, for those that don't know, the normal drink you get is 80 proof. This man said he's drinking something that's 123 proof, which I believe is like 15 to 16%, something like that. Like, it's strong. Like, it's
61.5%. Yep.
Okay, sorry. There you go. Yeah.
Just no. You just take proof and have it. So yeah.
That's right. 80, 40. Yeah. This mountain lit thing fucking me up. But yes, the man is lit, guys. He's here.
No. This is what happens when you root for a team that is known as the Moody Diva, and we let the Diva in the past week and a half, losing the Pokal against Leipzig 3-0. Drawing against Augsburg of all teams 2-2, and now losing to Lyon 3-2. So it
lost to Alexander Lacazette.
Yeah, Laka looked like shit today though. He was like whatever, but yeah, I mean we looked so terrible. It was horrible.
Ugh, so now how did you become a fan of Frankfurt?
So I won't lie. My introduction to football was the Aguero goal. So I will always and forever enjoy City. I wouldn't call them my Premier League team now because I do kind of like Ipswich, but I will forever enjoy City. I can't hate. But as I started to get more into the game, I started watching some of the other leagues, and I absolutely fell in love with the fan culture that is around Frankfurt, and it's so much fun. I love it because it's a team that has expectations, but you're not fighting for a title every year. You're fighting for possibly being in the DFB Pokal final. You're fighting to be in the final 8 or 4 of the Europa League. Like it's a good club, but not like a super elite one where you're going to be disappointed every year. And it's a team that has a massive fan base in Europe, obviously not in the States, unfortunately. But so, and I just, it's such a passionate fan base as well. As with many German clubs, but I feel something a little bit more special with Frankfurt than compared to some of the other really big clubs in Germany.
That's cool. These guys know this. I grew up. My dad was in the army, so we lived in an army base in Darmstadt, which is about an hour south of Frankfurt. And
Rivals,
so,
of course.
yeah, so the kids, like, I moved before we went to high school, but high school, you got on a bus and you drove up to Frankfurt. So they went to Frankfurt High School. So, like, playing FIFA or whatever, when Darmstadt was in the second division or even the third division, Frankfurt was kind of the de facto, okay, I'll use that team because, again, I know that I was close to there. I've been there, whatever. So I was just interested to see how you became a fan. So that's
Yeah.
dope. Thank you.
No, and for sure, my story for an American is a lot different than most. Most people who are Frankfurt fans in the U.S., they're Frankfurt fans because either they're expats from Germany, they have family from Frankfurt, or they were stationed over in Germany, and that's probably the biggest case is army bases over in Hesse, and so they became fans because of that. But yeah.
I want to hear a little bit about Omar Marmoush.
Dude, Omar Marmoush, what a fucking player this guy is, right? No, I love this guy, right? I remember watching him when he was on loan at fucking Stuttgart, when he was originally a Wolfsburg player on loan at Stuttgart, and the guy, I've never seen a player hate his parent club so much, because I remember when he was playing against Wolfsburg for Stuttgart, and he wasn't even the one who scored the goal, but he was celebrating his ass off for Stuttgart's goal against them. And then, of course, he has to go back to Wolfsburg after his loan is done. And then 2 seasons ago, when we're playing Wolfsburg, he scores the tying goal against us. Sucks, even though there are all these rumors about him coming to us already at that point. And he celebrates it, but, half-heartedly. Then, of course, he comes to us and had a really good year last year. The guy's always been a winger for his career, right? And then he comes to Frankfurt, and we sold off Randall Colomwani at the very last second in the summer, 2 summers ago. And so we had no striker. I mean, well, we signed, I can't even think of his name right now. A really not a good striker from Hertha who is not playing for us anymore for a reason. And so Marmoush kind of got inserted into the striker role and really performed decently. It took a lot of adjustment for him to change from a winger to a striker. One of the main things that he had to learn to do was not be offside all the time. But this year, the guy has been going off just absolutely insane. Yes, he's way overperforming his expected goals. But at the same time, like, if you're a truly elite striker, you're going to consistently do that. I don't think he's necessarily that guy, but I think that he's a player who, given the opportunities that he creates for himself and that especially like some of our team is able to create for him, he's a guy who can consistently overperform. Maybe not by like 5-6 goals, but like by like a 2-3 goals kind of thing. And I think there's this kind of running joke about Frankfurt, where we have sold some strikers the past handful of years for a lot of money that have not performed very well. I really do think that Omar Marmoush can be an exception to that. But yeah, so I love to hear. I mean, I don't know how much of the Bundesliga you all guys have watched, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on Marmoush as well.
I will say this: everything I see about that man, he's a baller. Like,
Yeah.
And I feel like the problem is this, right? When you leave the Bundesliga, it's a tactical thing. It's not a talent thing. And we saw this kind of, well, Team of Runner can't finish. That's different. But it's like, are you getting totally different. But are you getting the opportunities to hit on the transition, right? We see with Holland at City, that man is not getting the same amount of run he used to get because teams are sitting deeper. Like, you are getting played with a 5-4-1 versus 4-3-3 or 4-2-4, and like it's a whole different tactical game. So I think like that switch hurts players like output because the game is just not as transitional. And people talk about it, but in my eyes, what I watch is like when you go from Bundesliga on ESPN and Plus to Peacock, the games look totally different now. Like it doesn't lend itself to a striker that is like, I'm gonna hit you off the high line and I'm gonna time my run and get in behind you. Or I'm gonna make a run
Yeah.
on the end 1v1. Like it's just a totally different like tactical setup.
No, 100%. I mean, the Bundesliga is. I love the Bundesliga. I think it's a great league. In my opinion, it's the third best league in Europe because I don't really rate La Liga outside its top three teams that highly. But yeah, it's a completely different game, especially compared to England. And when you see players make that move from the Bundesliga to England, I mean, obviously you saw it with Timo Werner. He wasn't able to make it work at Chelsea. He's not able to make it work at Tottenham. But you see someone like Sebastian Aller who made the move from us to West Ham, and he wasn't able to make it work there. And then he goes to the Eredivisie, plays for Ajax, makes it work there, gets a move to Dortmund. So like yeah, the playing style is just it's so different, and it lends itself to different kinds of players, and that's why I think a lot of really good attacking players from the Bundesliga, while they're amazing players, don't transition well, and that's where I do think Omar Marmoush might be an exception because I think he does have the skill level to play at a slower pace, despite his pace being really good and a big part of his game. I think he has that skill to be able to play. I don't know. It hard to explain, but yeah.
So you feel like his game would like translate in that moving from league to league because his talent would transcend whatever tactics would be used
Yeah.
against him.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like I think that his talent lends itself to translate league to league. That I feel like a lot of other relatively successful Bundesliga strikers slash wingers have not had. I think that Marmoush has that talent level that's just a little bit higher to be able to translate.
So are you going to sell him? Or like, do you want to keep him? Like, at what point,
Funk on
like, do
mute is
you
crazy.
make that decision?
Oh, I mean, he's gone in the summer, no question.
Okay.
I mean,
I-
it's even if we extend his contract, that would just be to create a buy clause for him.
Okay.
Like he's gone in the summer no matter what.
I like that. He's 25, Egyptian, so that's nice. So his whole reign is coming to an end. So they need a new king Egyptian. So I think he's right there to possibly take over the reign.
Well, I mean, and the rumors have always been that he's gonna go to Liverpool. Although I've seen a lot of stuff that Salah might extend there, but even if Salah extends at Liverpool, you can still play Marmoush as a striker. Yes, I think he might be more useful to a team in the Premier League as a winger rather than a striker. But you can still play him there, and I think he'd be better than a Darwin Nunez. Honestly, like I would take Omar Marmoush easily, and so like I think even if Liverpool does extend with Salah, that Omar Marmoush would be a great buy for them, and for like relatively not expensive, right? Like we're not selling him for 100 million like we did Kolomwani. He's 25. He's probably going to go for about 60 million euros at most. Which yeah, I would love more for that given the kind of season that he's had. But you're going to take that money if you're Frankfurt no matter what anyway. And that's a good value buy for Liverpool. Really, the only other team that is heavily connected right now is Bayern, and I just don't see anywhere on their front line where they fit him in. So, yeah.
It's uh Ronald also had Washington Spirit on here, and so do you. So I feel like we gotta get this in here. How have you thought Washington Spirit's season went? I mean, obviously it had a little disappointing ending, but it was a fun season.
Yeah. That ending was very sad. I was in Kansas City, at the game with all my Spirit friends, and that was a very, very sad ending to the season. What an amazing season it was, though. I mean, just absolutely incredible from start to finish. Being able to get the best coach in women's soccer as well halfway through the season was very cool. Kang shows her willingness to invest in the women's game again and again, and that is always great to see. And you know what? Ultimately, we were super heavily injured by the end of the season, and I thought we were the better side in the final. And given that performance, I cannot be any more proud of the Washington Spirit season than that. So
If Croy Bethune was healthy, I think I think that the season ends differently for you guys.
I 100% agree. Yeah.
Like no, like
1,000%.
she played half.
1,000.
She played half the season and still like tied the league record in assists. Like that's ridiculous.
Talk about it, Tom. Talk about it.
If she was healthy for the whole season, she would have been the unanimous MVP pick, like by far. She was so incredible, and yeah, her injury was just, God, it's so annoying that happened, but that shit happens in sports, unfortunately.
I really do think that she might be the first 10-10 player in NWSL to get 10 goals and 10 assists. Like it's never been done before.
I could see it happening next season, honestly.
Oh yeah,
like
for certain.
Like I think it's very real. As long as she stays healthy, that's a real possibility.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. I want to apologize, Tom. I'm sorry. I yelled, and I just want to say, guys, I'm sorry. This is 4 days of teenage anger that is coming out here with a little bit of alcohol. So I apologize for the loudness. Corey is amazing. It didn't take that. I humbly apologize. Like I need
it's
to
a
water like that.
You're lit.
I was too lit. I took it to a different level, and I'm sorry. Tom, it's all you.
No need to apologize. Like having met Croy in person this past or a couple weekends ago. Like first of all, she is legitimately a star. Like
yeah.
Like how like certain people are just like you are drawn to certain people. Like there was some like local photographers that were with the BWPC, the Black Women's Players Collective for the league, and the one photographer is like, who is this young lady? She's like, oh yeah, that's Croy Bethune. She won Rookie of the Year and Midfielder of the Year. It's like, yeah, I don't know a lot about soccer, but I know a star when I see one, and that's a star. Like,
yeah.
And like so, like when you hear somebody like that, like say about another person, like that's a star. Like she truly is a star,
and she rightfully acts like it in the best way possible. I fucking love Croy Bethune. I'm so mad at myself for not getting like her jersey this year. I wanted to get one, but I was so annoyed that the jerseys like had the badge like stitched into the jersey. I was like, why am I paying $120 for like a fucking fan replica ass shit? So I didn't get one, and then I'm like, I still should have just done it. I don't know.
Listen, Nike and the NWSL are not messing around with those kit prices. Let me tell you what. Because I paid a fair amount of money for a KC Current Patrick Mahomes kit. more money than I will say live to the internet, but I am ashamed that I paid that much money. And good Lord, I paid that much money.
I will say though, I got a Spirit jersey at the end of last season, so not this past one, the year before, and I was expecting it to be like kind of like the fan version of it, but it wasn't. It was like the full version with, I mean, yeah, it was a printed on or like a patched on logo. It wasn't stitched, but that's how their actual jerseys are. But so like it came on like full like how they would wear it, and I was relatively surprised by that because I also had gotten a Kansas City Current one from that year, and it was not like that. It's just so weird how Nike treats the NWSL in terms of the jerseys, and I really don't like how, yeah, like they're charging so much money for a lesser product, and it really pisses me off.
Well, and like I feel like because Nike is also the supplier of the U.S. national team, that means that they know that they already have crossover with U.S. women's national team fans. So like they know you gonna buy that shit. Like
oh yeah,
like,
yeah, for
oh,
sure. Yeah.
Oh, you'll spend this money. You'll spend this money on that.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. The crossover between NWSL fans and U.S. women's national team fans has got to be like 85%, right? You know, so so you got like you've got like the same fan base, like yeah.
Yeah, that market research is not hard.
Exactly, yeah.
I wanted, before we get you out of here, we're talking about women's football. We got to talk about a little bit of Frauen Bundesliga.
Yes.
How title race is going.
Yeah, the Frauen Bundesliga. Holy shit. Eintracht Frankfurt is first in the Frauen Bundesliga at the halfway mark this year, and it's almost unbelievable. There's one more match left in the calendar year. We're playing the second worst team in the league, so hopefully we come away with a win in that and stay first. But you know, so if people don't know the history of Eintracht Frankfurt in the Frauen Bundesliga, there was a team called Erste FFC Frankfurt that was a women's only team that existed in Frankfurt for a very long time, was one of the most successful teams in Germany. And a few years ago, Eintracht Frankfurt like merged with them. And, you know, there's a little bit of contention among like, is it a merger? Is it a takeover kind of thing? And where some fan groups of the Erste FFC aren't the most happy with, you know, Eintracht taking over the brand, but they still support the team. And it's one of those things that's so German and like so it's very similar to how like Leipzig did something, and that almost makes you a little annoyed, but at the same time they at least still support. But that's a very big tangent. But so Eintracht has, like, since they took over the Erste FFC brand, have been building upon this team and trying to compete for a European place for many years, and have been a top 3 team for many years consecutively now. Last year we finally made the group stage of the Champions League for the first time. This year, yeah, we lost in the fucking qualifiers, but whatever. And but now we are first in the league going into the second half of the season, and it's been an absolutely incredible year for the Frauen. And it's almost unimaginable. I mean, we've scored over 3 goals a game and allowed fewer than a half a goal per game. Like, I think it's 30 goals scored and 5 goals allowed over 11 games. It's absolutely wild.
Yeah.
I love that John took the cork and like took it out as he was finishing. This man said, I'm coming to my period. I'm gonna re-up this glass. Like, I'm just gonna make this transition very seamless. I appreciate that. I gotta ask John, just for those that don't know, that was an amazing transition. Who are the normal powers that you are overcoming at this point in the season?
Okay, so Okay, so historically in German football, Erste FSC Frankfurt, which is the team that Eintracht merged with, and then Turbine Potsdam. Potsdam is a city just south of Berlin. Those were the two powerhouses in Germany, in German women's football for a very long time. Rewind about 10-ish years. Bayern Munich and VfL Wolfsburg created their own women's sides. And because of the money that they were able to have for that, they created very good women's sides very quickly. So for about the past 10 years, Bayern and Wolfsburg have been and Yomi Hive. Yes, Nicole and Yomi. Sorry, just seeing that. But yeah, so Bayern and Wolfsburg for the past 10 years have been the powerhouses of German football. When it comes to the DFB Pokal, like the German Cup, Wolfsburg hasn't lost that competition for the women's in over 10 years now. And the league has been between them and Bayern for over 10 years. So, and unfortunately, Frankfurt, we were in the Pokal final against Wolfsburg in 2021 and lost in extra time. But despite their goaltender getting a red,
Pain. I remember. We know that pain. But hey, like seeing you're in first, tied with Bayern, you're in there battling against them. Hey, we wish you the best as a team in a completely different league, and to actually be able to like knock out Bayern on top of it.
Hey, we'll come after you next year. You know.
Hey, that's all right. Hey, we took out Barca, so maybe
No. You know what? And I gotta say, just before we go, we had to play Barcelona in the group stage in the Champions League last year, and yeah, we lost both those games. But I gotta give props to our women for those games because we played them so well, and just to play a good game against that Barcelona team is so good to watch. And I was so happy watching those.
Love it. Well, please let people know where they can find you and the things that you do.
Yeah, I'm a contributor with the Hey on Track Frankfurt podcast. You can find us at hefpod.com, or it might be heyontrackfrankfurt.com. I don't know. And you can find me on Blue Sky at johnben.bsky.social.
Love it. All right. Hey, well, we'll definitely have you back on again if City somehow end up ever bumping into Frankfurt. We now have our Frankfurt expert here, so we're looking forward to that.
I will say, hey, out of curiosity, before we go,
yeah,
what, in your guys' opinion, is the worst team of a guest you've had on this podcast, like that they're a fan of?
Wait, on this LitStream or like any podcast?
Like on the LitStream, what team is the worst that you've had a fan of on?
Oh, that's a great question. Have we gone like on the LitStream? I don't think we've gone below like bottom half Premier League.
United.
Yeah,
that's United. No, it is United. I'm sorry.
Wait,
it's United. You're right.
Wait,
you're right.
Wait.
It's United.
Well, okay.
Wait, my own. Like, have we had a San Diego Wave fan on?
Yeah, like as a guest. No,
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
United's the one. No, let's just stay there. 13.
Yeah.
Mr. 13. Senor 13. Senor Trece. Yes.
No
Yes,
Marseille
United.
fans. Yeah, no.
United. It's United. United is the worst. We've had a bunch of them on.
Shout out to Ronald.
Bunch of red ass out here.
I'm always about the fuck United shit. Right? Dude, Frankfurt gave a lifetime membership to Sir Alex Ferguson fucking last spring. Some of our fans were so pissed, and I totally get it. Like, what are we doing that shit? It makes no sense.
Right? It's like a whole 2 decades after you should have gave that to him.
Yeah. Well, but also like,
But
what
why?
does he have to fucking do with Frankfurt?
But why?
Like, what does he have to do with us?
That man is not German.
Bullshit.
He's not German.
He's not German. He's fucking Aberdeen and Man United. What the fuck you got to do with us? Like, Whatever.
Oh, sorry for sending you off a little frustrated about Sir Alex Ferguson.
Oh no. We good.
All right, see you guys. All right. I said guys plural. I meant
I
him.
thought you were hanging up on us. I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
wow.
I was like,
He's
oh,
ready to-
okay, we're done.
He's
All
ready
right.
to end
So
this
ready to cut
mug.
the call. I was like, damn, stream over.
He's
He
like,
said,
we not
"Done.
talking
I'm
no
done with y'all."
more.
2 days in a row.
I am
No mas.
through.
No mas.
Oh man.
It's cool, Crump. It's cool. We
Thank
done. All right, you got it. Go ahead, bro.
Thanks to our 3 guests, Amy, Ronald, and John. Oh man, wonderful show for you. Let's see, who do we have
Sunday
next?
doubleheader. Sunday doubleheader, baby. As Crump
Point
looks at the
Sunday.
notebook.
Yeah, City Women are
6 points. Oh, yeah. 6 points. Woo.
hopefully.
That with no enthusiasm.
Hell no. Why the fuck would I? I have no joy in this men's club. Have they given me reason?
That's what I was. All I could think about.
Or
All I could
Tom?
think about when Ronald was on was, I don't want to give him too much grief because I have no confidence that we're gonna win.
None. Zero.
Normally it'd be like,
Zero.
say it with your chest. I can't, man. I can't.
I can't at all. I'm not using
It's
my words.
horrible out here.
I
I'm
know.
about to cry, dog. This is
Can't
terrible.
even confidently like talk shit. Like it's bad.
Being
It's
mediocre is crazy. I hate
It
being
is.
mediocre. I hate it. I hate it.
big trash.
Tom, you okay over there? You good, bro?
Man, listen. Like, there's a part of me that is just suspended. Like, oh, them motherfuckers played today. That's cool. All right. They got their asses. They got their asses whooped too, huh? Oh, okay. Cool.
Hey,
And meanwhile,
belt
let's
to ass. Belt
focus on
to ass.
belt to ass. Yes, that's all it is. Just belt to ass. Just every time, every 90 minutes, just rolling out belt to ass shit. Like,
90s childhood. 90s parenting is out here, okay? We're getting real belt to ass. None of this gentle parenting shit. You getting that belt to your ass, you might get a switch. Because sporting was a switch.
You annoying me.
Fighting
Go
was a switch. Get that damn electric cord. Get that orange damn extension cord. That's what happened to us. We got a bunch of different
Hot
weapons that have
Wheels
been
racetrack.
hit to our ass.
Sounds like somebody's sleeping good tonight. That's not the
Damn right. Cry yourself to sleep. I don't want to hear it. You're going to cry yourself to sleep. What you going to do?
Next week we got hey, we had Amy, so now we got Kate. She's on next week. And
Yeah.
we got Demetrius and Donald Wine the second. Hey,
Oh.
what a show for you next week. Let's go. Okay, we'll be back for you sometime soon with some sort of show drop in. Subscribe, like, 5 stars, rate, review, all those fun things. We appreciate y'all. Now we got you. Oh man. You know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.